The Halloween update dropped last week, and it added an entire sewer network to the map. Now, I've seen a lot of people brush it off like it's just another small addition. But what if I told you this little update might be hiding some of the biggest content Schedule 1 has ever seen? What we're seeing right now might just be the tip of the iceberg. I'm talking black markets, a new place to launder money, potential underground properties, and maybe full-on heists. All of it was hinted at during this update, and if you blinked, you probably missed it. I don't think Tyler's done cooking with the sewers just yet. So strap in, grab your tinfoil hat, and get ready, because we're about to dive headfirst into some good old-fashioned speculation. I'm going to get into all of the theories I have in the second half of this video, so make sure you stick around. But before we get into the theories, I wanted to show you guys a bit of the actual code behind the Sewer Goblin and the sewer keys, since a lot of you have been asking about it. As we all know, this update added a brand new NPC to the game, the Sewer Goblin. He lurks down in the tunnels and, well, let's just say he's got a bit of a meth addiction. But here's a fun fact for the 18% of you that are subscribed. When I first started data mining the game, I found something interesting in the game's code. A character class called Schizo Goblin. It didn't have any code or functions tied to it, and it never appeared in the game, but it was there. So naturally, I assumed the Schizo Goblin was supposed to be the Sewer Goblin, since that feature had been sitting on the Trello roadmap forever. But here's the weird part. Even after the Halloween update, Tyler didn't remove the Schizo Goblin class from the files, which makes me think he might still be planning on using it later. So let me know down in the comments what you think the Schizo Goblin could end up being used for. I'm kind of drawing a blank here. I mean, it could be something that happens when you smoke a product with the schizophrenic effect, but I really don't know. Anyways, now that we've covered that little fun fact, let's dig into the code controlling the Sewer Goblin's behavior. It's actually really simple. He only has 4 possible states: inactive, attacking, retrieving, and retreating. When the Sewer Goblin is set to inactive, he hides inside those little crawlspace vents scattered around the tunnels, and every time you're down in the sewers, there's a 0.16% chance that he pops out of the vent and attacks you. And I know what you're thinking, only 0.16% chance? Then why do I see this gremlin every time I go down in the sewers? And that's because it's actually 0.16% every in-game minute, and in Schedule 1, 1 game minute is 1 real-life second. So that tiny percentage suddenly becomes roughly once every 600 seconds, which explains why this little dude feels like he's always waiting around the corner, ready to pounce on you. And when he finally does pop out, he switches into the attacking state and immediately charges straight at you. Now, you might try to fight back, maybe land a few punches, maybe grab a bat and go all Babe Ruth on him, but honestly, it's kinda pointless. You see, the Sewer Goblin is completely invincible. And on top of that, he's immune to the charged attacks that usually knock people over. Instead, you should try to punch him as quick as you can, because every time he takes damage, there's about a 30% chance he'll retreat back to a vent and leave you alone. But for those of you who prefer a more peaceful approach, there's actually a non-violent way to make him back off too. You see, the Sewer Goblin actually has a weakness. If you're holding a certain item, which is internally called a pacify item in the code, he'll immediately stop attacking you and enter the retrieving state. And if you've been paying attention, you know that pacify item is meth. So if you're within 10 meters of the little guy, just pull out a meth crystal and hold it in your hand. The goblin will instantly chill out, slowly walk towards you, and snatch it from your hands. This is called the retrieving state. And after he grabs that little crystal of meth, he'll enter the retreat state, where the goblin gets 30% faster and immediately sprints for not the first, not the second, but the third closest door. I don't know why he ignores the first 2, but he sprints for the third closest door. The moment he gets into the door, his health will be restored to full and his state will be set to inactive again, starting the whole process all over. Now, there's a couple things I want to point out. Each time the Sewer Goblin returns to his crawl space, he won't pop back up for at least 12 in-game hours, so you're safe for a bit. And no matter what you do, he'll never remember you gave him that shiny bag of meth. He'll always start attacking you as soon as he sees you, so for those of you who are looking for a friend, it's not gonna happen. The next bit of code I wanted to share with you guys was for getting into the sewers. Now, in my first video, I mentioned that there are 3 ways to get a sewer key. You can buy one from Jen Hurd, you can find one on the ground, or you can pickpocket one from a random crackhead. When it comes to finding one on the ground, here's where it gets interesting. There are 50 total potential spawn locations, but only 1 is selected per save file. and running around checking all 50 spots would be absolutely insane. Luckily for you, you don't have to. If you talk to Oscar, you can actually ask him for a hint about the key's location, and he'll tell you which region it's in. From there, it's pretty straightforward. Head to that area and start searching. But to make your life even easier, I put together a map showing every possible sewer key spawn point in each region, so you don't have to wander around like a junkie trying to find a loose cigarette butt. And for those of you that don't want to go digging around in the dirt, one of the 7 crackheads in Highland Point can be carrying a sewer key also, and just like before, you can ask Oscar for a hint about which one is carrying it. If he says the angry guy with the mohawk is carrying it, it's Genghis. If he says it's the guy with the big eyebrows and teardrop tattoo, that's Greg. The scary guy with the metal hat is Frank, the blonde guy with the jacket is Keith, the shirtless guy with the bucket hat is Jerry, the purple-haired lady is Jesse, and the guy with the funny hair and glasses is Geraldine. Which proves once and for all that Geraldine doesn't have a bandana, it's hair. And also, he's a boy, so let's stop misgendering him. But before you go and violate their personal space by digging in their butt, it's worth knowing that only one of them can have the key every save. It doesn't change. And if you go and talk to them, they'll have a dialogue option that says, "Do you have a sewer key?" So you can make sure you've got the right person before you go digging through their pants. Now that we're done with that, it's time to get into all the juicy leaks and secrets I found by digging through the game's code. But before we dive in, if you want to learn how to code yourself, you've got to check out today's sponsor, boot.dev. If your eyes glaze over and your soul leaves your body every time I show code on screen, this is the site for you. Boot.dev is an online platform that teaches you how to code in a way that's actually fun. Because let's be real, the worst part about learning is learning. It's boring, it's dry, and if you've got ADHD like me, it makes you want to jump out a window. But Boot.dev completely fixes that. They've gamified the whole process of learning so it feels like you're playing instead of studying. I tried their Python course myself, and honestly, it was way more entertaining than the ones I took in college. And the best part is you're actually learning by building real projects, just like in real life. There's no mind-numbing textbooks, no 400-page PDFs, just hands-on learning that actually sticks. So if you've ever wanted to learn how to code, check out boot.dev. It's completely free to read and watch their lessons, and if you go for the interactive courses, they've got a 30-day, no questions asked refund policy, so you don't have to sweat a thing. Anyways, let's move on to the secrets I found by digging into the game's code. Alright, the first secret I'm going to show you guys is this room right here. And at first glance, it doesn't look like much. It's just an empty room in the middle of the sewer system. But in the game's code, this room is called the Market Room. And what's even crazier is that this room is directly beneath the Highland Point Bank. And honestly, that name alone got my tinfoil hat buzzing. Why call it that if it's completely empty? I'm starting to think Tyler's cooking up something major. Something like an underground black market. I mean, just look at this layout. This wide open space would be the perfect spot for a shady dealer to set up shop. Picture it, a flickering bulb overhead, a folding table stacked with contraband, and a guy selling the good stuff you definitely can't find at Dan's Hardware. I mean, just imagine what could show up here. Bulletproof vests, automatic weapons, rare ingredients, or even shroom spores. And speaking of shrooms, let's talk about those for a minute, because in real life, mushrooms thrive in dark, damp environments. So what better place could there be for a shrooms farm than the sewer system itself? Now, I don't think he'll make it so you can only grow them underground. I think that would kind of ruin a lot of the fun, but I could totally see there being like a bonus buff for it. Like shrooms growing faster in the sewers than above ground. It would perfectly fit with the game's theme. A secret crop for the players who aren't afraid to get their hands a little dirty. But aside from the market room, there's a couple other things that are even more interesting. You see, when I was exploring the sewers, I noticed something else that was kind of strange. A bunch of the sewer tunnels just stop. There's no door, no blockage, it's just a random dead end. For example, this one right here looks like it should lead straight towards suburbia, but it cuts off and ends for no reason. And this other one, right next to the market room, well, that's where things get really interesting. Because if you pop into FreeCam, you'll notice that Tyler actually carved out a huge empty space underground right next to that wall. Which got me thinking, what if this was supposed to be an area for a new property? I mean, just imagine an underground drug lab tucked directly beneath the office buildings, and when you need supplies you can just go to the market room next door for the black market goods. This property could even tie into the police expansion. I doubt the police would ever be able to raid the sewers, giving the property a trade-off where there's no way to do deliveries to it, but there's also no way to get raided by the feds. I think that would be pretty cool. But the most interesting dead end of all, the one that really made me stop and scratch my head, is this one right here. Alright, listen, I know what you're thinking. Willie, that's not a dead end, there's a ladder right there. And technically you're right. But if you free cam past this wall, you'll see the tunnel actually continues on for a bit. And if you follow that invisible tunnel, guess where it leads? Directly beneath the casino back room. On top of that, in the Halloween update, Tyler actually added a bit of interior to this casino back room. I mean, it's just a floor and a wall, but it wasn't there before, so it's gotta mean something. And listen, you can call me a conspiracy theorist, but this is almost too perfect. We've all been craving a new way to launder our money. Tyler hinted that the casino may become available for purchase eventually, and this underground tunnel leads directly into the back rooms. But then that begs the question, why do we need a sewer entrance to it? And I think it's because we won't be able to buy it. I think, just like the manor, we're gonna have to complete a quest to get it. More specifically, I think we're gonna have to do a heist. Alright, here's the plan. We talk to Sam Thompson and get him to extend the maintenance tunnel underneath the casino. We wait patiently while he slowly digs out the tunnel. Then we slither our way into it and we pop our head out in the back room of the casino. Then we steal the computer password from Karen Kennedy's locker. She's the manager of the casino. She's gotta have it. And we hack into the computer on the top floor, allowing us to launder as much money as we want. But truthfully, this is just a conspiracy theory, and the actual quest could be anything. So I urge you, my wonderful viewers, how do you think we're gonna get the casino? How do you think we're finally going to unlock it and be able to launder more than just $20,000 a day? Leave your comments down below. I'm honestly brainstorming here. Nothing is too far-fetched. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video and got a kick out of all of my crazy harebrained ideas. And as always, stay silly, y'all.